Western Australia's own barrier reef at Ningaloo, which stretches for 150 kilometres above Carnarvon, millions of fish have made their home. A shoal of thousands of silver drummer move as though by an unspoken command. And wherever the fishing is easy, you will find sharks. Carefully avoided by most fish, this beautifully designed feeding machine provides an ideal home for the remora. Nature has provided a special sucker plate on its head, which allows the remora to attach itself to larger fish and feed on scraps dropped from their jaws. At the moment between meals, it is on the lookout for another host. The white-tipped reef shark will, with luck, pass close enough to the remora to let it attach itself without attracting too much unwanted attention. After a couple of unsuccessful attempts, contact is made and a strange relationship begins. If the shark should become excited or start an attack, the remora will simply detach and wait in the wings until the meal is finished. Then he will quietly cruise round, fastening and unfastening, picking up the crumbs. Although while hunting, sharks tend to cruise slowly, they are fast and powerful swimmers, capable of lightning movement. The power of the tail, the shark's means of propulsion, is enormous. With 2 flicks, this shark travels 50 meters. Slower, but even more spectacular, the giant stingray takes off like some alien spaceship from the ocean floor. He measures over 2 meters from wingtip to wingtip and literally flies through the water. As we are filming the ray, we notice hanging above us a norwest cod, and as he descends, are stunned by his size. In these waters, fish grow large, but this is the largest cod we have seen. We need a volunteer to demonstrate this, and at last one of the crew agrees to swim into the picture with him. Although the cod are known for their bad temper and could easily kill the unwary companion with one snap of his jaws. Using 1 million tons of TNT to create a dam on the Ord River, Lake Argyle was formed. As the years have passed, it has become a home for the rare and beautiful wildlife of the Kimberley area. The best view of the lake is just before dawn. Setting up our cameras on a remote island on the lake to capture the sunrise, we slowly became aware that we were entirely surrounded by spiders' webs. As the sun appeared over the rim of the mountains, we could see that, unlike any we had seen before, the webs were golden. We had found the home of the golden orb weaver spider. the only one in the world to produce golden thread. Even as we stood there, we had been noticed, and the gossamer-like threads began drifting towards us, ready to weave us into their kingdom. In the seclusion of the island, undisturbed, well over 500 spiders have toiled to complete this massive 30-meter-long structure. Surprisingly, only a tiny amount of it is used to catch anything. Most of it is for support and protection. In the dead trees on the shoreline, it collects crane flies, mosquitoes, midges, dragonflies, and even small birds. Always hanging upside down, they wait like fishermen with a hand line for the slightest vibration that tells them that they have caught a victim. Behind them, the carefully wrapped remains of previous meals. When the next generation hatch, they attach their fine golden thread to a twig or branch and launch themselves on the wind.
Around the world every day on the Discovery Channel.
There's 2.3 pounds of water in here. That's what's trapped in our body tissue every month. It made me bloated, irritable, and my clothes felt tight until I discovered Aquaban. It helps reduce bloating and puffiness.
Safe and effective Aquaban helps you get rid of the bloat every month.
In just 1 week, I lost enough weight to actually see the difference.
The Slim Fast Pledge. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight. Each Slim Fast shake is a delicious, nutritious, low-calorie meal.
1 week and the weight was gone.
Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Here at Viadent, we make an excellent anti-plaque toothpaste. How we make it is a little unusual.
What's unusual is this, the Sanguinario root. It's a fantastic ingredient, and it's ours exclusively.
And it's the plaque cleaning power in Viadent. In university lab tests, it's been shown to be effective against 98% of major kinds of plaque bacteria.
This might not be so pretty, but brushing with Viadent works like crazy.
And to us, that's beautiful. Viadent, the anti-plaque specialist.
This is my lawn, and I love to work on it. I feed it. I keep track of its growth, its thickness. I know every inch of this lawn, and if there's a problem, I fix it. I give it the kind of care and attention you just can't count on from any lawn care company. I mean, this may not be my house, but it is my lawn.
We care and it shows.
Ken Lawn, we care and it shows.
Mom and Dad bought this table the year I was born. Look at it. Beautiful. And all Mom did was dust every week with Pledge. And now N-Dust says watch out for buildup after 28 years? Come on. Dusting with Pledge is what keeps it beautiful. Look, N-Dust just evaporates, leaving wood as dry and unprotected as before. But a Pledge shine protects beautifully.
With Pledge, dusting can be beautiful.
For 28 years. And counting.
From the barren lands of the north to the lush fauna-filled south, the Rift Valley is resident to a vast variety of wildlife, with the most magnificent migratory path, and home to the greatest collection of flamingos in the world. Join us for a journey through the longest valley. Tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
By the side of the lake, drowned forests of trees now provide a home for large colonies of pied cormorants. The plentiful supply of food and ideal breeding conditions have resulted in a steady increase in the number of fledglings every year. From the safety of their own nests, the cormorants can fish in the warm waters of the lake. Too young to fish with their parents, these two fledglings sit patiently waiting to be fed. Covered with light, fluffy down, they're unable to fly, and when at last their parents encourage them to jump into the water, it will take them many hours to climb back into the nest. Although Lake Argyle occupies over 700 square kilometers, it is dwarfed by the size of the land around it, the Kimberley Block. Thousands of years ago, the early Aborigines hunted in the area. With the arrival of the first white settlers, it was realized that this land would be ideal for raising cattle. But it was a hard land, and when the time came to muster the mobs of cattle on the stations, men and horses had to work for weeks in dangerous conditions. Galloping at full stretch in this spinifex country, after a wild and rangy scrub bull where the ant hills are hidden from view in the tall grass, often meant a serious accident for man and horse. Out here in the days before the flying doctor, even a broken leg could mean a long and painful death. Today, there is a different sort of danger involved.
And a good morning to you. Special hi to the fellows doing some mustering today. Looks like remaining fine. Here's a little number to get you into the air.
At first glance, the cowboys or ringers of today look very much like their predecessors, but instead of saddling up, they're cleaning windscreens and are planning a morning's muster with 2 helicopters, which would have taken men and horses over 5 days to complete. Instead of oats, it's avgas. Instead of the stock whip, the two-way radio. Sean Murphy and his pilots have built up $1 million business mustering the Kimberley cattle, but still manage to look very much the way their grandfathers did. The object of all this attention comes down for an early morning drink at the headwaters of the Christmas Creek, little suspecting that this morning will be just a bit different. Starting the muster several kilometers apart, pilots, Sean on the left flank and Peter on the right, slowly begin collecting the cattle. From 2s and 3s, the mob rapidly grows in number. The point of the exercise is to make the cattle go where you want. Their natural inclination is to run down the dry creek beds. They must in fact be pushed across them. It's also important that the muster is taken at a steady pace, and the cattle are not exhausted, as they will have covered over 15 kilometers this morning. Over on the right flank, Peter has disturbed a mob of wild donkeys. Meanwhile, Sean's cow stands her ground and has to be encouraged on. The mob is now moving well, and the bulls have been joined by the cows and their calves. Some of the bigger bulls have not seen a human being for 10 years and are destined to become hamburgers for America.